Be talking about Squishy, the Basset Hound.
I
My
like
Basset
that.
Hound, not just it's not the Basset Hound, it's my Basset Hound.
Now, tell me a little bit about his origins. I think he's, correct me if I'm wrong, about 11 years old.
I've had him for 11 years, so he's probably 12-ish.
Okay. And if we
Yeah.
go back 11 years, what's kind of the circumstances surrounding you getting him?
Well, I had just got sober and I wanted a companion, you know, marriage was falling apart, that kind of thing. I'm
Hmm.
thinking, how about a dog?
And how did it become
I wasn't
squishy?
in the
How did,
greatest state. It was crazy because I don't think I was in the greatest state of mind because of, coming off of years of, alcohol and the drug abuse. So, but I think I made one clear decision to pick up a dog.
now, did anybody dissuade you or persuade you to say that's a good idea or that's a bad idea?
My daughter was here for the summer that year, and I was like, I'm thinking about getting a dog, and she goes, "You should do it." So I went and looked for Basset Hound rescues, and I found a spot, and I saw some photos, picked out three or four. We went up to go look at it, and Squishy just his name was already Squishy. They named him that at the rescue. I just kept it, but he just came up and came right up to us and like laid on his back, like rubbed my belly, and it's like pretty much he chose us.
I hear that very often, how the rescues choose you.
Yeah.
Why did you have a basset hound in your mind to begin with?
I had a Basset Hound before. My first dog ever was a Basset, and I just loved them since I was a kid. I don't know.
Okay.
They're, I know they're stubborn. I know they can bark a lot. Luckily, knock wood, Squishy doesn't barks as much as my first dog, but they're just they're like cartoon characters. They're lazy like me. Oh, kind of low maintenance, except that if you're thinking about getting a basset, you got to keep your food up very high because they will get their ninjas when
How
it comes
funny.
to food.
Well, the low maintenance we'll get to in a second because I do have a couple of notes because I've noticed just strictly from social media, he's got a cone on his head quite a bit. But before we get to that, I'm curious to know, like on this sober journey, how has he been? Did he turn out to be an asset? Was he something that, you could turn your attention to?
Yeah, because it was it was good to have somebody or an animal, a presence around, a calming, loving presence when, early recovery and, with
Hmm.
the changes I was going through in my life and definitely helped me get through that time.
And what about your touring schedule? I assume, pouring over the last decade, it's probably been on and off and on and off and, very busy and, pandemic and,
Right.
who do you see, who takes care of them when you're away?
I take them back to the rescue. I do some volunteer work for them. Just the other day, 2 days ago, I transported two dogs that came in from Tijuana, and I meet the people from the rescue down there in Mexico. We meet up here, a couple hours away from here, kind of
Hmm.
halfway from where they're coming from. And so they'll watch Squishy for
Okay.
me, which is I'm pretty lucky to do that. Get
And
that.
they're a specific Basset Hound rescue, correct?
Yeah, they have some Basset mix. Every once in a while, they'll take in another breed, or they've had some Bloodhounds for a while up there.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's Basset
And have you been doing that for the duration, volunteering and doing the transports?
for the most part. I don't know how many years I've been doing the transports, but yeah, it's usually in the middle of the week when unless I already said if somebody's working, they can't do a long distance drive, so I'll drive sometimes 4 hours each way, pick up the puppies, the dogs.
Okay. Well, it's funny you mentioned the other day that you just got back from traveling 8 hours. So that was it. You went 4 hours to and from.
Yeah, with the traffic and then waiting to meet the people that are coming from Mexico, and it's just, you know.
Yeah, that's a long day.
It's a long day. I was wiped out yesterday. That just, yeah, it hurts.
But kudos to you. That's really great. That's a very valuable, you know, your volunteerism to help them out. I'm sure helps everybody.
It's something that I always wanted to do, and I had the time, and I met the right they had the right circumstances, and I'm glad it worked out that way.
Yeah. Now back to Squishy and his low maintenance and his cone. I noticed again through social media, through I guess cyst removal at one point, eye allergies at one point, and more recently through the comments I discovered somebody asked, "How's his pee pee?" And you replied,
Oh
"All
yes.
healed, thanks."
Well, I was on tour, the last tour we did, and I get a message from the woman that runs the Basset Rescue. It's like, well, your boy tried to hump a redhead, and she bit his penis.
Oh my gosh.
Got a pretty good bite. He had to get some stitches.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, lesson learned. I hope.
I hope. Yeah. So that was it's funny but tragic all at once.
They're supposed to mentioning that he's obsessed with sharks and that he ate a shark. Was it like a baby taxiderm shark or something like that?
It was like in some kind of formaldehyde type of thing. So, backstory is I don't like sharks. I don't like looking at them. I don't like pictures. You know, they freak me out. I don't know why. My daughter knows this. So one year for my birthday, she gets me this like it was about 6 inch like baby shark in this like formaldehyde, some kind of preserved. I can't think of the word.
It's like,
Anyway,
was it like a sealed plastic
yeah, it's like in a little.
brick?
It was more like a cylinder, like a little giant, like a giant test tube type of thing.
Okay.
Anyway,
S-
and so it just sat in her room for when she comes here for years. And Squishy would go in there and sleep on her bed, and that was his one of his beds. Because it's his house, I just live in it. And one day I come home and there's a smell, and he had taken it
oof.
outside off her desk, took it outside, broke it open, got the shark out of it, and went back on her bed and ate it.
Oh, God.
And he smelled so bad, and of course her bedding had to be washed and everything. So I freaked out and called the Basset Rescue, and they'd called, animal control, and they said he should be fine, but if you want to take him to the vet to get some blood work, do that. And I did, and he was fine.
And how
He didn't,
did
he,
it?
didn't- he didn't puke. I mean, it took him to the to get a dog wash immediately. I didn't do it. I took him to the groomer, and he didn't puke. He didn't have diarrhea, and he was fine.
Was there any indication of him pooping it out? I mean, did he poop it out with
No,
a fin?
no, I didn't see any fins. I guess it died. I didn't see any bones. Yeah, it was weird,
It's a
but
strong Basset digestive
yeah.
system.
And I don't know why that day, but today I'm waiting for years to get to that thing. Today is the day.
Well, it's funny you say that because I've been very interested in talking to someone with a Basset Hound because I really have no experience with Basset Hounds. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't remember the last time I've actually seen one in person. So I was curious about them, and they just don't seem agile in the least. And when you describe him as, a ninja, does he have that capability? Does he have some agility to kind of, get things he wants?
Yes. And you think they're short, but they're very long and they can get up high. That's why, I mean, I have some Halloween candy and I walked in with it for, to give the kids in the neighborhood. And I have to put it up on top of this, shelf I mean, this cabinet or whatever you want to call it. I have more of my
Yeah,
record,
yeah,
shelving, because he'll try to get it, won't you?
yeah.
Where's that
That's
nose?
that's dangerous stuff for dogs. And chocolate.
Oh, he'll do that. He'll eat chocolate. Here, won't you? You'll eat chocolate? He'll eat. That's a yes. Wave your ear. Hello, hello, hello. All right.
Now, Squish is also a studio dog, I understand.
Yeah, he likes to hang out in the studio while we were recording or mixing. Got a studio in my converted garage, and he'll just hang out and just lay on the floor, get loved
Now,
by from all the people.
now I see not only on your Instagram, but every musician I talk to, everybody loves a studio dog.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it can be a stressful thing, and in most bands, there's a lot of personalities, and it could get tense. And having that kind of, presence in the studio is a calming thing. It keeps people, focused and mellow.
Yeah, that's the best answer I've heard. I'm
Yeah.
glad we got there. Now, as a studio dog, has he ever made it on record?
He's made it on a few, yeah, where somebody's in the vocal booth, being studio, probably barking, trying to get snacks. My studio partner always brings food, brings a lunch when he's working here, and Squishy's got him trained, like, because he knows he's going to get treats. He's got a dog too, who's also a great studio dog. He'll bring
That's great.
around all the time.
Who's that? What kind of dog is that? The other
It's
dog?
it's a mutt,
A mutt? And
yeah.
what's his or her name?
It's Ollie.
Okay,
He's
Ollie.
a big. I don't know what he's mixed of, but he's very cute dog. Very mellow. He's not, he doesn't get into food. They could leave food out on the table and he won't get it. So I'm a little jealous.
Now, given that Squish has been all through your social media, is he well known? Do you have, when you meet fans, do fans inquire about him?
Sometimes, yeah. And then there's a fan up in the San Francisco Bay Area who took some photos off the internet and made magnets for my
That's
refrigerator.
great. That's
Yeah,
nice.
keep pictures of him and him with my daughter Violet. So I got those on the fridge.
And you mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about your history with dogs. You mentioned, you grew up with a Basset Hound.
Well,
Um,
I didn't get in Basset Hound until I was an adult. I never had a dog as a kid.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And what was the name of your first Basset Hound?
Gaylord.
Gaylord?
Yeah. I had this mechanical Basset Hound when I was a kid. You could look it up on the internet, kids. But they're, battery operated, and it was a Basset Hound, and it was really cute. So I think someday I'm gonna have a Basset Hound named Gaylord, and you know,
And it,
it took me until I was in my 30s, but I got my Basset Hound Gaylord.
now, did you rescue Gaylord from the same rescue or
No,
a different situation?
different situation. Well, how did I get Gaylord? I can't remember. He wasn't a
Oh,
rescue, though. He was from a breeder, but I can't remember. Oh no, shit! This is a great story. Okay,
let's have it.
so Bad Religion's on tour one year with Green Day opening for us before Dookie came out, before they blew up and got huge, you know,
Yeah.
mega huge. And Trey Cool's dad was driving them around in this old bookmobile. That was their touring vehicle. And he mentioned, we were just talking one day. He's like, yeah, I breed dogs. I'm like, oh, I've always wanted a dog. What kind of dogs do you breed? He goes, I have Basset Hounds. You go, what? He goes, yeah, I got some puppies. So he had Trey's mom sent a video out on the road of all the puppies, there was one puppy there that was really super cute, and they called him Rufus. So I got Rufus from Trey's dad, and they renamed him Gaylord. And then that's how I got my first Basset.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hmm.
How funny. And did you ever have a Chihuahua named Joey?
Yeah, that was my second ex-wife's dog, Joey. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wind down every show with what I call the Zoomies, and that's just five frivolous, fast questions. The
All
first
right.
one is the most frivolous of all, and that's do you kiss Squish on the mouth?
I kissed him on his jowls. I wouldn't say right on the mouth in the middle. No. Yeah, I kissed
It's kind of a
him.
trick question because they don't really have a mouth. I mean, they have a mouth, they just don't have lips.
Yeah, I guess they don't have lips. Or do they have lips? Or jowls? Wow. I'm looking at him. Squishy, do you have lips? He's saying no.
Question two is if Squishy had a theme song, what would it be? When he comes walking into the room, what should be playing?
Oh, I don't know, but I'll hum noises when I see dogs on the street and stuff, like kind of like a cartoon, where you hear like the dog walking or an animal like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I have different theme songs for different do dogs that I see. I mean, every time I see, like literally, I'm driving down the street and I see people walking a dog and go puppy. They got two dogs, puppy, puppy. Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
Is Squish sociable? Is he good with, kind of dogs he sees on the street?
Yeah,
And dog parks? Do you go to dog parks?
not anymore. Used to do it a lot. He would just sniff. He's like Ferdinand the Bull, just sniff the flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't really. He does play with dogs sometimes, very rarely, but he will. But he's good with other dogs and people. Sometimes it takes a few minutes for him to warm up. He'll bark and kind of cower a
Yeah.
little bit.
Question three is to set up question three. Has Squish ever been to a gig?
No, but he's been to some rehearsals.
Okay.
I mean, when I first got him, I didn't know if I should be leaving him alone. I took him to some rehearsals here and there, and I kept him away from the noise.
Yeah, that's right, the ears. So, strictly hypothetically, if Squishy went on tour with you, what would he want on his tour rider?
On his tour rider, oh, of course, food, any type, just food, anything.
Just food, period. Whatever it is, he'll eat
Pretty
it.
much eat anything. He doesn't like lettuce. He's like his dad. He doesn't really like iceberg lettuce and that kind of stuff. Mixed greens, I will eat. I'm not sure about him. Squishy, you like mixed greens? I don't think he's a big cucumber fan or tomato, but anything else, sharks and formaldehyde, chocolate, sushi. He ate a bowl of pretty spicy curry, Thai
Oh,
curry chicken before. It doesn't matter.
gosh, it's got an iron stomach.
Ah,
Question four is, do you have a dog voice? Do you use a dog voice to address him, or do you actually channel a dog voice and imagine how he sounds?
I don't think I have a dog voice or a dog voice for him. That's a good question. No, I don't think so.
Okay. You speak to him just as a peer. Like, Squish, we're going for a walk. Squish, it's time to eat. You don't go cutesy or
Oh
head
yeah, I do.
voice.
Like, are you hungry? You want, I'll like, get that kind of raise my voice up a little higher, you know.
Yeah. And the last question I always ask if there's a shout out to any dog service or organization you like to give. And I assume it might be this rescue.
Yeah, it's Daphne Land, DaphneYland in Acton, California, for all your Basset Hound needs.
All right. And how did you first come into uh, contact with them? I mean, if we're going back 11 years, I guess, you know,
I just Googled Basset Hound Rescue Southern California, and there was like a couple, and that one had a lot of dogs there. They have, 50, 60 dogs at a time up there.
well, all right. Well, Greg, thank you for giving me your time and telling me all about Squishy. It's
No
always
problem.
fun to
This is gonna be on, you know, YouTube or whatever, we might as well get it.
look at that.
It's just
Oh
my
my
guy.
gosh,
That's Squish. Oh yeah?
he's a beaut.
Do you want some belly rubs? Okay. All right. Well, thanks for having us on here.
My pleasure, Greg. Thanks. Have a good
All
one.
right. Here he goes. Oh, yep.
Bye, Squish.
Belly rubs, belly rubs. All right. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.